All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. There's Philip. There's Brother Jack Dawson. So, Philip, you know what? Even the 1927 Yankees didn't win every game, nor did the 1975 Reds. They lost. It is what it is. Skeens, I think, trying to be a little close in the corners and stuff. They got beaten by the Mets. That's all. I'm not going to panic. Baseball fan doesn't panic on opening day. It's all good. Jack, hope you're doing well. So, everybody's been asking about the demo for this game. Well, this is the demo. This is the demo. So Crash has given me permission to put this up. I've got to take the other one down. I will be putting this up, but I want to test it for a few days. And John says, "Good evening from Detroit." Good to see you in here, John. So yeah, I am going to post this, but I want to test it through the weekend before I do. So that way, you guys will feel pretty comfortable doing it. If you have Pure Sim Baseball already, Pure Sim Baseball, you can just copy those photos into this game and you're ready to go. So this is the demo. I looked at it for a couple batters last night, and that is it. So this is it's a pretty robust demo. It's a pretty robust demo. Again, I haven't played, just messed around with it. So we're just gonna go, just kind of go through strategy baseball again, and this is the one that he is going to be releasing. So I do want to, like I said, I'll be putting up in the McGreevy Discord, but the old one is coming down. Hey, you bought Paul Skeen's rookie card today. Excellent, Nathaniel. That's going to be a good one to have, man. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Phillips has a lot of American League versus National League matchups today. Yeah, yeah. We're one of the things we're stuck with, my friend, is interleague play. Unfortunately, I hate it, but there you go. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? When payoff pitch releases, we don't know exactly, John. So it's not that you missed anything. I can bring up Steam really quickly and we can look. I think it's just gonna say coming soon. So let's look because they do have a Steam page up. And I still haven't shown that beta yet, but I will do that. That's going to be this weekend. We're going to play a game. So yeah, release date is April 2026. So there it is. We can even play the little trailer if you want, which doesn't appear to have any sound. So there you go. Guys, put sound in your video. Put sound in your video. There is none. Ah, terrible. So might as well add it to my wish list while I'm here. There we go. So you still have jet lag from Washington D.C. Yeah, yeah, Yankees Giants game. Wow, Aaron Judge going hitless in that one, and but you know what? Again, it's opening day. I mean, and I'm happy. I mean, yep, Pirates got beat, but showed that some of our signings did pretty well today, and that's all right. That's all right. We will, we take it, and that's part of the long season of baseball. I mean, I guess if you're coming from a sort of perspective of American football, right, then those losses add up quickly. It's a long season, brothers. The first thing that I really, really do want to point out about this game that I think is really, really important is that it is an actual, honest to goodness, old fashioned game manual. So, and lots of pages, lots of pages, lots of pages. I'm not opening this an official word here, obviously, but this is you just there it is. So, lots that you can do with this game. It doesn't quite. It doesn't have the sand. It's not a sandbox game in a sense the way that Pure Sim is, but it's got its own special things that it does too. So really, really pretty easy system requirements. Requirements 512 megabytes of RAM. Crash recommends 1 gigabyte. Sound cards are never a big deal, and 500 megabytes of hard drive space. And then your the required screen size. So those of you with lower resolution monitors, really monitors these days are 1920 by 1080. You can pick up monitors really really inexpensive. So if If you have your resolution set at 1440, try to up it to at least 1920 by 1080 to be able to play this game. But that's it. Easy system requirements, and you can just go through the manual on your own. He's really added a lot into this. Okay, let's go ahead and close it, and let's close this. Obviously, you got new, load, quick load, manual, and well, quit. And you guys will notice the new font there. I think the font is really cool. And I'm hoping that maybe in the full release you'll be able to just pick what you want, what ballpark you want for a splash screen up there. But not going to pick. So let's go through and let's start with a new game. So you can do an historical exhibition. You can do a season replay. And you can go from 1903 to 2025. You can choose whether you want to use finances and salaries. I don't choose to. You can do a draft league. So what a draft league means is that you would pick a year, but those players you're going to draft within that year. So it doesn't do a multi-year draft, but you could do a single-year draft. So StratMax has kind of the same thing, but I'm going to turn this off. And then, of course, if you want to use fictional players, that's fine. So rather than setting up, we're just going to pick a historical exhibition, okay? And because we want to get into the game here. So let's pick visiting team. Somebody give me a year and a visiting team, and somebody a year and a home team. And we'll just play out a game, look at some of the things that you can do in this. Obviously, with a season, there's a lot more to look at. So, but I already have a season loaded up, and I can show you that. So. Again, I want to thank Sports Time Machine for coming on the other night and calling a Strat ball game. That was really a lot of fun. Okay. Hey, Forgotten Man, how are you doing? Never forgotten here. Welcome in. Welcome to the family. Hope you're doing well. All right, so the 2007 Boston Red Sox are going to be the visiting team. Okay, so let's get them in there. Boom. 2004, easy enough to change. Boom, done. And Boston. Okay, and there we go. American League is always on top for whatever reason. Okay, need a home team, need a home team, need a home team. Doesn't matter. We could go, again, from 1903 to present. And then we'll just show you the in-game kind of thing and all that. And then we'll go to the season thing so you can see a lot more, like the reports and things like that this does. So I'm hoping to get this uploaded this weekend. Again, I want to run it through its paces a little bit and let Crash know if I find any bugs. Against the 1969 Mets. All right, we can do that too. So 1969, going on the way back machine to the Amazins. Amazing Mets. So, and let's find the New York Mets. There they are. Let's click next. All right, so we already have our player photos. We're not going to use a DH. We're going to allow 4-man rotations. That's fine. Do we want to play this as a 7-game series? We can do 1, 3, 5, and 7. Let's just do a 3-game series. That's fine. So 1 and 2. All right. Click next. And players are being imported now, which is really nice. So a great way to sort of look at, if you want to replay some World Series, you just want to pit 2 teams against each other. Pretty cool stuff. You go to your schedule page. Tom Seaver versus Kurt Schilling. So Mets at the Boston Red Sox. So in this game, of course, you can just quick sim, which why would you want to do that in something like this? We can watch the SBN cast, or we can actually manage the game. Now, I've never managed a game on here for you guys, so I think that's what we'll do tonight. We'll do a little bit of group managing. How does that sound? But before we do that, let's see. Can we? Yeah, there we go. So just to give you a little bit of taste here, the logos are going to automatically load in for you, which is really nice. And if we go to the ballpark, there's Fenway. And of course, we'll get into modifying parks and stuff a little bit later. But just to show you that these are already done. If we go to the Mets, there we go. Some band named the Beatles played out here at second base in 1964. Sid Bernstein presents. But anyhow, there we go. So you don't have to worry about setting up ballparks in this for the most part. And we'll get into all the other cool stuff like the graphical depth charts and everything, and player ratings and things like that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and close this. And let's play a game. Why not? Why not? So we're going to go to games, and we'll go ahead and manage this one. I think. Why not? All right. So again, here's your lineup screen, obviously, and I like this. I like the little, I like the pictures it uses in the background. So this is like it looks like a major league clubhouse. Certainly doesn't look like the old high school or college gym, that's for sure. Lineups, you can change your lineups here if you want. Now, just like in out of the park baseball, though, you do have to remember, right, that it's like when you're picking two teams, or let's say in out of the park baseball, you can choose up to 70 teams in a like a tournament, right? The exhibition mode it's called. That you might see some things that you're like, wait, so and so's batting fourth or batting first or batting second. Wow, the game's stupid. It's got it wrong. No, what it is it's working outside of the right of that ecosystem of having done a season replay. So the computer's going to just determine these. However, it's easy enough to just change the lineup. You guys know how to change lineups, pretty simple, but I mean, you just kind of click the button and start clicking, dragging, and doing that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to leave everything as is, all right? All right, so we're just going to apply the changes that we didn't make, and we're going to close this, and we're going to go right into the game. And here we are. So if you play Action PC Baseball, this is going to remind you a lot of that kind of three-quarter perspective. All right. So obviously right now, if I just hit enter, our champs is going to swing away. I can choose to bunt. I can also look at my lineup. So everything down here, like if we click more, for instance, there we go. So more, this is where you can, this is for steals, things like that. You'll be able to see all this as we go along in the game, okay? All right, so looking at the starting defense here for the Boston Red Sox, right? So Ramirez in left, Damon in center, Millar in right, Ortiz at first, Bellhorn at second, Garciaparra at short, Mueller at third, Veritek behind the plate, Kurt Schilling on the mound. So instead of having the talking heads, which I call them, I don't. When I play Action PC Baseball, I don't have the heads turned on in the field. I think it's very bizarre looking. So I don't know if there's a choice to do that, but he uses these little icons for the players, which I think are really cool. So let's go ahead and do it here. All right, Kurt Schilling lets it go, the 0-1 pitch, and fly ball to right, and Kevin Millar has it for out number one. You're going to notice from the first version we showed you to now, this is running a lot more smoothly. So it looks like Crash did some optimization here. You can go to your play options right here, and you can turn off the ball animation if you want. You can control about the on-field play result message if you don't want to see that. I suggest you leave that on, however, because you're going to get a little photo or whatever of who made the play. This is not a chalkboard like you see on Action PC Baseball, but this still works for a lot of games. Okay, for your play-by-play text, normal usually works better. I always put new info on the bottom line. It just seems to make more sense to me as a content creator. So this is just kind of just adjusting options as it says. All right, and here we go now. And Schilling deals to Ken Boswell. This one popped high on the infield, and Mueller ranging over, I should say. And no, he actually fouls that one out to Kurt Schilling. All right. So again, this game is one that you really want to be watching. I usually don't look at the play-by-play in a game, but it's a good idea to look at this one. Okay. All right, here's Cleon Jones, 2-2 pitch, and Cleon Jones strikes out. So that ends the inning. And coming up for Boston, Manny Ramirez, Mark Bellhorn, and Johnny Damon. All right. Jones, Agee, and Shamsky from left to right in the outfield for the 1969 Amazons. Ed Crane pulled at first, Ken Boswell at second, Bud Harrelson at short, and Wayne Garrett at third. Jerry Grody behind the plate, and on the mound, Tom Terrific. And let's go ahead and just put everything to today so that we see what players are doing. This game will also keep track of splits through a season and also how they do a pitcher through a season, but also even through if you were doing like a 7-game series. Okay? So again, this is the demo that I'm showing, and Crash is cool with me streaming it and actually putting it up in the Discord. Now I'm hoping that when you guys, when you do test it, you like it, give some feedback. That's the idea. It's not just like, So I'm asking if you do this for Crash. It always helps the developer to just get some, get some feedback, what works, whatever. That way he decides to go commercial with this. He's not kind of going it alone, or just like maybe one or two. So, once this is up there, please, guys, that would be really, really cool for you. Okay. All right. Now, let me see. And I'm sorry. I said there was. Yeah. So at the bottom of the first, and this is why I like to say that we have a little bit of a bug, because it's thinking that Kurt Schilling is up when it should be Manny Ramirez. So we've run into a bug here. So what we're going to do is autoplay this, and then we're going to go back into a season and see if it does the same thing. Okay. Again, this is the one he's planning to release as a free demo. Okay. But we certainly don't want Kurt Schilling, the 9-hitter, starting first. Okay. So that's all right, because the deeper stuff I want to get to is actually in the season replay. But even with the kind of mess there, it looks like what date did we pull here? I can't remember. Did we play? There we go. So that was a 5-1 game. Schilling got the win. Seaver took the loss. All right, let's go back to Maine, and let's load. And I already put in the 1966 season, so let's put that in. And we have the Baltimore Orioles. All right, so again, there's your game options. It's going to keep track of things like player of the league. There's your preseason predictions. This is just to add flavor. Really, these are the actual records. There's your clubhouse, and again, you can go in. You can change team colors if you like, and all your ballparks are assigned. So there's Memorial Stadium ready to go. But let me show you how to modify parks quickly, how that works. So all the ballparks in here, you have to think of the parks in two different ways in this game. So the fence heights, number one, and the fence distances. So as Crash mentioned, these fence heights do count. They are actually right. The program is going to take these fence heights and distances into account. But you can also edit ballparks, which means you can kind of create ballparks as well too. Okay, over here you can select a pre-built park with its dimensions only. Okay, and then we're going to talk about park photo. But if we go to pre-built parks, what you're going to see here is an absolute ton of ballparks, and a lot of them are in here, including there's some 19th century parks here. There's dead ball parks. I was just looking around before, and exposition parks here. Palace of the Fans you'll find here, and I like that he's calling it Parc Jarry, which is what it should be, right? So the only thing that would be nice would be to have this in kind of an alphabetical order, but easy enough. But there's Exposition Park. If I were to select Exposition Park, first home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, you would see this change up here. Okay, but let's go ahead and cancel that. So park photo, really, the park photo is kind of more of just sort of kind of eye candy type thing. But since they're here, why not use them? Later on, in another, I'm going to show you guys again how to adjust ball flight paths in this game. As you know, I just want to do a real quick overview of this. All right, so there is a way to do that, and when you go to configure SBN cast, so you can see this ballpark's already set up this way, so it can accommodate ballparks at kind of different angles, right? And again, we'll show this, but down here, these four buttons are the one that are going to move the ball flight locations around. So those are it now. Don't get scared. These aren't so bad to work with. And for most of you, you're going to be doing season replays anyhow. So the parks are already going to be auto assigned. Now I have not tested this. Hey, Samuel Smith. He says, "Good evening. Looks exciting. Going to post this. Yeah, I already found a bug that I've got to let Crash know about. So we were doing, we were trying to play the 2004 Red Sox against the '69 Mets, and or vice versa, whatever. It was the Mets versus the Red Sox, however it was. But it had Kurt Schilling. It had the pitcher leading off in the bottom half of the first inning. So I've got to let Crash know about that so he can fix that. And I'm hoping once he does that and get a new version, I'll be posting it. I'm taking the other one down. He's asked me if I would take the other one down, so I'm going to do that. This is a very generous demo, so Crash isn't going to be the kind of guy to ask this, but I'm asking because he is going to be allowing this demo to be put up. Just once again, please, constructive criticism if you run into a bug or what have you, or some issues, put them in the McGreevy Discord. And I don't know how much Crash hangs out in there, but I'll make sure to be looking at those. John, if you wouldn't mind, if you're here, I always seems like I put you to work in here in the Discord. If you have room, if we can make a little channel for strategy baseball, that would be really cool, man. If you can do it, I don't know what the limitations are in creating those things in Discord, but if you could, John, I'd really appreciate it. John greeting us from Detroit. But we'll go over what these mean in another, and all of this. We'll set up a ballpark from kind of scratch. Okay. All right. So let's just go ahead and click done for now. All right. So we understand how ballparks work. Okay. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. The graphical depth chart should look pretty familiar to you. And we're just going to go ahead and click on Brooks Robinson. So we got Brooks Robinson here. Now, once you start playing your season, this spray chart is going to start populating with different types of hits and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. I like that. The defense chart is one of my favorite parts of this game. So obviously, it's going to show blue is excellent, black is below average to average, and red is poor to position. So at a glance, you're just going to know how to position players. If you need to reposition them later, maybe you're pulling some sort of kind of crazy thing and you're bringing Brooks Robinson later in the game, though I don't know why you would. He should be in there all the time. This is just nice. Give you a quick look. Now, you can also edit a player. So now this isn't available in the demo, but you can edit players in this game. So he does give you some options here, but like down here in this bottom part, and I already took off the old demo, right? But you could actually change these ratings to your liking. Okay. So over here, let's go this tab. You get the player's major league career, pretty much. So batting stats and then some fielding stats there. Okay. And his batting average, slugging average, all that kind of stuff. So all the other things here, again, you got ratings, and then the career stats. These are going to just kind of like out of the park baseball. This is going to take you just up to, since I have 1966 as the season I loaded in, this is just going to go up to 1965. Okay, milestones and these are going to happen as you're going along. Okay, you can also release a player. You can also, if you do AAA or AAA, just down to the minors, cancel, what have you. You can also, you're going to be looking at how you're going to use this player. So again, this game is deceptively deep. So for offense, right? So do you want to just if you want to look at platooning, or whatever, how did Brooks do against lefty or righty pitchers? So for some guys, right, who don't do well against a certain pitcher's handedness, you can say, okay, I'm never start him against a lefty, never start him at righting. You don't want to bring somebody in as a pinch hitter, pinch runner, pinch hitter, whatever. So you can see, you can even change fielding positions if you want. For pitching, you can kind of, set roles and everything like that. So this is per player if you want to do this. Okay. You can even lock him in, like so, to say you got to keep him in the major league roster no matter what. So that would prevent AI managers if you're not playing every game. So to demote players. So if you're saying no, I don't want him to go. Right? When do you want to pull your starting pitcher? You can always set that, right, just by the little drop down menus and things like that. Now I can see here as I'm clicking on a lot of this that there's going to be a lot not available in the demo. So you do get a ton of seasons to play, I think, which is really a good idea on Crash's part, but you don't get full game functionality, which I don't think is an issue at all. Okay, at all. So don't worry about it. But we'll just go ahead and just cancel out of this. Let's close this and let's look at a picture here. Let's look at Jim Palmer. And we're going to see that, again, edit player is not going to be available in the demo. But you can change handedness. You can change kind of the basic things like that. But down here, you cannot change ratings. So it's going to be the same thing for pitchers. If we go to pitcher usage, so again, now for him, right, now we are seeing that there's some functionality here. So it may have just been a thing that because Brooksy wasn't a pitcher. So I'd like to see, like looking at Babe Ruth, say 1919, the Red Sox, how that's going to function on each side, or Shohei Ohtani for that matter. You can also have him learn a new fielding position. So if you remember back at that defense chart, let's look at that again just to see how these tie together. So obviously not Jim Palmer. So let's go back. Let's close out of Jim Palmer. Let's go back to Brooksy again. All right, we look at that defense chart and we say, well, I'd like to improve, maybe learn a new position. Don't know why, but you could experiment. Hey, Bernie, how you doing? You could have him learn to be a catcher if you want, which I think is kind of cool. So this isn't like the player development lab in Out of the Park Baseball, but this is a really, really nice addition. It's like, yeah, learn a new position. So a way to rewrite baseball history, or if you had, real life, you had players who could play, multiple positions, but sometimes they weren't so good at another position. You could have them learn a new one. So good stuff there. Direct links to Google and Baseball Reference, should you need them. You can go from there to do that. So I'll just hit Baseball Reference, and it goes right to Brooks Robinson's page, which is real nice. And so there you go. If you're doing some deep research, I like the fact that I don't have to exit the game. Back in the old days, right, you would have to either, try to slog through a database or whatever. I love that games are giving you this this ability to do this. This is something that Action PC, I would love to see Action PC do this. Just to be able to look in Baseball Reference to get some of those deeper sabermetrics that you're not necessarily getting. Is, let's face it, sabermetrics are here to stay, and some of them are very, very good. Okay. What else? What else can we show? Okay, so you can look at anybody's, right here, so we can get onto the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, proper logo. There's everybody. Who's this Clemente guy out here, right? Looking at that defense chart. There we go. You can play him in center and left. But maybe I might want him to learn, second, whatever, if you want to do that. Okay, again, real life stats for the great one, 55 to 72. But remember now, career stats, so just so you don't get these, mixed up, right? We see he started in 1955. Thank you, Branch Rickey. But it's it's right here. So you're only going to get his totals up to 1965, which I love. I really, really love that a lot. The reason Out of the Park Baseball doesn't do baseball reference is because baseball reference is in there. So, but I would like to see more games do this. And games have been doing this for a while. Pure Sim does it. The original Strategy Baseball even had this. Okay, so let's go ahead and close it. And let's close this because I just want to show you some more kind of things. We've got to play through some games for you to see some more. You can, of course, set your lineups and set your rotations. And that means you can auto-assign rosters, auto-generate lineups, rotations. You can sign free agents from the screen. You have a scouting system in this. Okay, so rosters fully stocked. The scouting system is worth talking about in this game because scouts play an important part in this game. And it's the only game where I've seen that's where scouts are actually rated. So when you start a season, you start a project, right? You will have a scout, and all the scouts are pretty good, but they will age, and over time, they're going to go, and then from the scouting pool, you've got guys just kind of like coming in to the majors, if you will, or whatever, younger scouts, and so not experienced, and so their experience increases over time. But here's the really, really neat thing where this game puts a really cool spin on things is that the player ratings that you see, so I don't know why I put, let me go out of this for a second so I can again show you. So our player ratings are actually tied in to the scout. So the higher ratings the scout has, the better the scouting accuracy is going to be. So it's a way to shake things up, and I think it's kind of cool. All right. We already looked at Clubhouse, graphical depth charts, customized manager. So Crash and I had a long talk about this one, and he said that back in the day when they were, when he and Sean were working on Pure Sim Baseball, and then of course when he did the first version of Strategy Baseball all those years ago, this would be like by all kinds of innings and situations and everything, and so there are a bunch of people, which I think they're sissies, that they freaked out. It's too much. It's too much. So he did this a little bit differently. So these are for all situations and times, but again, because it's also going to work more on the changes you can make with plays. There's Aaron Reed. So if I move these, let's say, just for instance, Harry Walker here might want to pinch hit more than average. So right now everything is sort of zeroed out. Let's say he wants to pinch hit a little bit more. You see that little 1 right there? So 1 is kind of just average. Now, if I would decide that he wants to do that, right, or he's going to do more, if I move that up, that right, so you can see, then he's going to go more. Okay, he's going to tend to pinch hit more. Okay, and if I would save those changes, I'm not going to. Actually, let's do that. No, let's do it. Now you can see that this goes to, it's a multiplier, so it's 1.29 now. So he's going to be a little bit more likely to pinch hit the way it's set up right now. But let's go ahead and let's zero things back out and just like that. Okay. Boink. Again, you really don't ever have to touch this. You can also do as far as roster activity, or like pitcher, batter pitcher combo. So 15 batters, 10 pitchers, 16 and 9, 17 and 8. So if you were playing dead ball baseball, you might want to consider a roster of 17 and 8, and then like into the 1920s and 30s, maybe 16 and 9, and then 15 and 10, maybe beyond that. Rest lineup, you can decide when they're going to be rested. So the game has a built-in fatigue system. How quickly is the manager going to have a hook? Is he patient, or is he very quick, or everything between? And then how he deals with injuries. Okay, let's go ahead and close out Harry Walker. We're not going to change. We're not going to save changes. There is an input manager in there down there. However, It's just you're not importing a manager's tendencies. At least I don't think so. Let's make sure, because in the first beta that didn't do that. So let's see what happens if we import my favorite manager of all time, and I think the greatest manager of all time, John McGraw. Let's look for John McGraw in there. There we go. There's John McGraw, and import, and you can see nothing changed. So with the older versions of the game, all of these sliders would change up and stuff like that. But there a lot of people really just didn't like this, and I do. I prefer it, but that's no knock on this game. I think the way it works is fine. Not that I really mess around with a lot of this. And there, see, It saved that as a 1.29. So we're going to put him back there again, and then I'm going to just save those changes so that old Harry Walker stays the same. Okay. Moving down here, you're going to get team reports here. Pretty cool. All right, so we've got the scouting on the player, and so some of the scouting is going to be like, Steve Blass, a waste of time. Well, Steve Blass is going to end up in the majors, but that again has to do with what we were talking about with the scouts. Okay, and again, I'm just looking at the Pirates. I can select any team. I can look at Cleveland and look at scouting there. Scouting saying a mid closer, Bob Allen should be middle relief, Sonny Seibert, right, and so on and so forth. Okay, you guys are smart. I don't need to go through a lot of crazy stuff there. Team stats, nothing in there because we haven't played any games yet. Same with, we can get expanded team results. We're going to autoplay a bunch of games here. There's your DL. Schedule calendar, which looks really, really nice. Much better than the first one. And again, the game plays really, really smoothly. But before we autoplay the games, we've got to make sure that this bug isn't plaguing us that we got hit with. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and go with just Cleveland, Washington, play a couple innings. And, well, actually, you know what? This happened we were managing. I want to see. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now we're going to manage this game here, Baltimore and Boston, because I want to see if this bug comes back. All right. And what do we got? Palmer and Wilson. So we're just going to leave the lineup as is. Let's close, and let's do this. All right, Fenway Park, we got Yastrzemski in left, Gosker in center, Canigliaro in right, Scott at first, Jones at second, Petrocelli at short, Foy at third, Ryan behind the plate, Luis Aparicio starting it off here for the Baltimore Orioles visiting Fenway Park here in 1966. Just a year before Bernie was born. All right, Earl Wilson brings the 0-2 pitch, and that's a strike 3, so down goes Aparicio. All right, here's Boone Powell, 3-1 pitch, and Powell will send this one out to past second into right field for a base hit. Been an exciting opening day. Yes, it has, Aaron. Yes, it has. So if you mouse over a player, right, or you actually click on the player, you can just get all the things that you've seen there before, okay? And you can also go through the lineup that way too. So if you wanted to kind of check something on Frank Robinson, you could just use these arrows right here. Another nice little touch, okay? Ball is, you might want to slow down the play-by-play. Ball kind of goes a little bit quickly, but I like it. All right, here we go. 3-2 pitch to Russ Snyder, and Snyder, Petrocelli has it and drops out of his glove. So they're going to score an error, and players are going to move into scoring position for Frank Robinson. Wilson works out of the stretch, and the 0-1 pitch swung on, and this one is going to be a liner, but right to Jones. So 2 down here. 2 on for Kurt Leffery. Orioles trying to capitalize here. And here's the pitch. And this is going to be out to single out to center field. Poor defensive play. Oscar should have gotten to that ball. Powell will score. So should Russ Snyder, runner class 2, attempt to score on class 3 center fielder, depth shallow? No, I'm not going to send Russ Snyder, so we're just going to go, nope, Powell will score. The crowd sounds so much better here in the version of strategy you have. Yeah, and you don't have that really loud, whoever that was singing the national anthem. So, all right. So runners at the corners and Baltimore with its first run. So down here now, if we wanted Kurt Blefary to try to steal second, we would just hit the number 2 or hit second. We're not going to try a steal of home here with Russ Snyder. This is where we can call our hit and run. And then again, if we go to more, you can select this to do conservative base running, things like that. So the option is cleared at each at bat. Okay. So Aaron, are you sure? So, well, you can't play the demo yet, Aaron, because I haven't uploaded this demo yet. I'm going through it through the weekend. I already found one bug so far, so I don't want to put it up there with bugs, at least that I can find. But if you've been able to play pure sim baseball and strategy baseball, you'll be able to play this one. Crash has given me permission to upload it. I would just like to run it through its paces for a couple days, but it will be up this weekend for you guys. Unless Crash gets back to me and says, wait a minute, I got a couple more things I've got to fix. So, but I did want to show it to you guys. And this is a very generous demo. Really, it is. And I'm glad Crash is offering a lot. Yep, I am, Aaron, beta testing. So he's offering all these seasons. I think it's good because I don't think you can judge a baseball game just by playing one season, because you want to try different things, how park factors work, how era factors work, how all of these things work. And one of the, of course, features of this game is any two teams in baseball history can play against each other. All right, anyhow. And here's the pitch to Brooks Robinson, and Robinson is going to line this one out to Jones, and that's it. So Joe Foy, Jim Gosker, and Carl Yastrzemski do up in the bottom of the first here in Boston. Now we've got to see if that bug comes back to get us, or if that's just the two-team thing. And nope, it's fine. So Joe Foy leading things off. So Foy, Gosker, and Yastrzemski. So that seems to be just a thing when it's team versus team. All right, Blefary, Snyder, and Robinson out there in the outfield. And then Robinson, Aparicio, Johnson, and Powell from third to first. Echeverria behind the plate, and Jim Palmer on the mound against Joe Foy. So again, you can go right to your lineup. You can choose to walk. You can pitch around, pitch normal. Okay. Sometimes you want to pitch around a player. Okay, outfield normal, what have you. The bug may be related to a non-DH team against a DH team. That's a good point, Forgotten Man. It could very well be, and so mistaking the pitcher as that. So I'm going to try your theory, definitely. So thank you for that. That's good thinking. Definitely good thinking. Hadn't occurred to me. All right, it is the bottom of the first here. 1-2 pitch, and Joe Foy swing and a miss. Strike out. All right, we're not going to do the whole 9-inning game here, guys. I just wanted to make sure, really. And Gosker goes down on strikes. How about that? So Jim Palmer with 2 strikes in the day. Over here's all your information. It gives you a lot of nice information here. Okay. Again, sorry guys, I literally got home and wanted to just get this going. And Yastrzemski swings, and this one's going to be a grounder. And boom, Powell catching that tough grounder, and that retires the side. Davey Johnson, Andy Echeverria, and Jim Palmer do up. Familia, Mike, thank you again for the other night. That was such a lot of fun. It really was. Thank you, man. All right, here's Davey Johnson, Andy Echeverria, and Jim Palmer as I'm showing the demo that I will be hopefully posting this weekend for Strategy Baseball, and it's a very generous demo. So, guys, give Crash a thank you once you get it up, get it downloaded, please. So, Mike, doing opening day. Mike, I got in there just on the last out, so yikes. Sorry about that, man. But Sports Time Machine, great channel. Check it out, gentlemen. Again, I'm not trying to call the game tonight or anything like that. I just want to walk through this a little bit. All right, here we go. Top of the second. Here's Davey Johnson. We'll do this inning, and then we're going to autoplay a bunch of games. All right, Davey Johnson with a base hit. Now, I want to look at play options here for a little bit because I think as far as animating that, I'm going to turn off the do-up window each inning because I can see that over here. That's fine, but I'm gonna turn it off. Let me see, what else do I want to do? We'll leave the animate ball flight on. I'd like to see the ball a little bit larger, if possible. All right. All right, Davey Johnson at first, and again, if you're wondering, geez, how am I going to do with Johnson in terms of speed? Man, I probably don't want to run him this early in the game. All right. 0-2 pitch, and Andy Etchbarren goes down on strikes. Brings up Jim Palmer now in the ninth spot here. And one away. Wilson has the sign from Ryan. And here's the 2-2 pitch. And down goes Jim Palmer. Two down back at the top of the order. Luis Aparicio, 0 for 1, struck out his last time up. Get your information over here as long as you select today. Okay. All right, and Aparicio, first pitch swinging, and this one up the middle. Jones ranging to his right, has it, and that retires the side. No runs, one hit, no errors, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of the second. Baltimore leads Boston 1-0. We're going to go ahead and auto-complete this game, however. Okay. And there we go. Your final score: the Orioles defeat the Red Sox 3-0. Jim Palmer gets the win. There's another little bug. So this should be 1-0, and this for Wilson should be 0-1. So bugs are going to happen. That's why this is a demo. Okay, we can look at the box score. The box scores always look really, really nice, really cool. But a new feature in this game, or did he take it out? Yeah, it looks like he did for the demo. That sucks. Is the scout. So if you're catching this, I know, Crash, you say you do catch these, you just don't stay up as late as I do. Are you deciding not to put the scout thing into the game? Because that's really, really a cool addition. I hope you just left it out of the demo. Okay. Let's actually just go ahead and just sim through this day so we can start generating some statistics. So there we can see, boom. And let's actually make it meaningful here, and let's sim a month. I don't want to be paused or prompt for anything, so I'm going to unclick these, or deselect those, whatever you want. And there we go. Just so I can show you guys some of the reports and things like that. So pitcher win-loss records, we're going to see whether those update. When we're going to go into a game and see. So now Jim Palmer's showing 1 and 2. It's recording them now, so it seems like that pitcher win-loss record might have to advance a day. But if you play the game, you definitely want to see that. So be another thing to look into. But this is playing a lot more smoothly. It seems like he's really optimized it more. I'd like to see the ball a little bit bigger, though. It's a little hard to see. Baseball. So okay, AI is going to work here. But I'm really, really encouraging. Right now, our Orioles, or my Orioles right now, are what, 4 and not, we're 5-5 now, so everything updating really, really nicely. And it's also going to show you as you go through, if you look here on the left-hand side, it's going to mix up like who's leading in hits and things like that, or RBI. And it's going to pick just different categories as you're going along. But you're going to be able to see more meaningful reports. But it makes it a lot more engrossing, I think, than just looking at these go up and down. Another game that does it is Out of the Park Baseball. So I think this is a cool feature. So Crash, but if you're listening, please put the Scout feature back in. I don't know if you missed that or if that's intentionally left out of the demo. And if it's left out of the demo, I totally understand. That's a great, great feature, though. So I hope that's not going to go by the wayside, because having those pregame reports I think are really, really, really cool. Okay, so we're going through. We should be about through what we asked it to simulate. And you can stop the simulation at any time, but let's play it out a little bit longer so that we can start looking at some of these reports that we really didn't do the last time that we had crash on here. I want to try to keep this one a little bit more focused. So if I get Crash's final blessing, I'm hoping to, I'm not going to be uploading pictures or anything like that. Okay, so we are seeing that it is keeping track now of pitcher one loss records, so it might just be an opening day thing. So Jim Palmer right now is at 4-2. Let's look at Jim Palmer. Okay, and we can see that he's made eight appearances in 8 games. He's started 7. He has 2 complete games, 2 shutouts thus far. Let me see. He's given up 10. He's given up 2 home runs, 10 earned runs. He's struck out 29, 15 so far in our season replay. Has 1 wild pitch, participated and induced 6 double plays, and so on and so forth. And 4-2 right now with an ERA of 1.88. And then you get some sabermetrics down here. So the sabermetrics are going to come in to play as your game is playing out. Okay, so then you can look at his pitcher splits here. So versus left versus right. So we see he's given up a home run to a righty and to a lefty. How the home runs were given up? We gave them up at home. So really, really nice. And both of them were given up in April. We are in May somewhere or another. I don't know what we are. All of these things up here, we didn't talk about these yet. So let's stop for an instant, for a moment here, and talk about standings. So you're going to see overall. So overall, basically, if you mouse over the word, is going to be a kind of aggregate or average. I guess an average is really what it is, of stuff, control, velocity, and command. And so you kind of can get granular here. So pitcher stuff is based on an opponent's batting average. And right now, lefties are hitting Palmer at 137 and 208 for righties. So control is his walk and plate appearance ratio. Velocity is strikeouts and plate appearance ratio, right? And then his command is his walk to strikeout ratio. So command a little bit low there, I think. Stamina is just what it says, his upper limit. So this is his expected pitch count, if you want to speak in terms of action PC baseball. His endurance is going to be a composite durability, and divided by games started. Okay. Durability is his age, and so on and so forth. You can read about all this stuff in the manual. We're not going to reread the manual. This is his hold rating. This is based on left to right hand and stolen bases allowed. And then movement is based off of stuff. Hands, now we're getting into, this is fielding percentage type stuff. So average fielding pitcher, agility, not a lot of range there. Pretty good arm. So this is composite errors, assists, putouts. Accuracy is his throwing accuracy, and potential indication of how long before his performance declines. Okay. Again, you're only going to, pitchers are only going to show this. Now we could bring up a season with Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth to see how this handles this. Babe Ruth, I think, is the better example because he was a position player, whereas Ohtani's a DH. So there's not. I think there's gonna be maybe there will be a spray chart for him. I don't know. Well, not for him. We're gonna have to look at hitters. So let's jump around and let's look at some more. Let's look at some more reports. Okay. So let's go to stats, and this is our current season. We can see who's leading in what right now. So. And we've got both leagues, so let's go ahead and select the National League for right now. So Matty Lou leading in batting average for the Pirates, also his OBP, so minimum of 99 at bats. Jim Ray Hart leading in slugging right now, also batters minus OPS, batters hit, batters OPS. Matty Lou leading in hits. Chuck Harrelson and Tony Gonzalez, along with Pete Rose leading in doubles. Lee May with two triples. Stretch and Jim Ray Hart each leading the National League with 9 home runs. So kind of whatever. And remember that any player name in here is already clickable. Okay. But for those of you that like sabermetrics, or batting plus, we just call it batting plus. There you go. It's not really sabermetrics, it's some extra, except for this guy here, isolated power, which isolated power, so we've got WOBA, WAR, and isolated power. So these are like sort of newer stats there, and there's just extra base hits. Total bases, this is a stat I really don't care about. I don't think total bases says much about the player. But, again, your mileage may vary. Isolated power, I like better than slugging percentage. We can look at, we can, again, look at pitching leaders. Again, let's switch to the American League for that. And let me see. So Bruce Howard right now, the 1.11 earned run average. Dave Boswell with the Twins with 5 wins. How about that? Boswell doing it with the K too, man. 45 strikeouts right now, way ahead of Jim Nash. Well, 6 ahead of Jim Nash of the Kansas City Royals, so on and so forth. Or Kansas City Athletics. I'm sorry, Kansas City Athletics. Let's go to team batting. So again, everything sortable here. So who's hitting the most home runs right now in the American League? It's the Baltimore Orioles with 29. Let's see, where's Bernie's Red Sox? They're at 18, and Mike's Yankees at 16. So the Yankees kind of getting into that decline that they will see in the latter part of the 60s. But all good. And there's poor Washington down there at 12. So we can see here Baltimore doing it with runs per game. But now where they're leading in other categories, also easy to see. So let's see, who's stealing right now? So the Chicago White Sox doing it with speed, average up here, average, there we go. So on and so forth. Hey, JT Dutch doing all right, just showing the upcoming demo of strategy baseball. Okay, we can go to reports here, and we can look at just things like your attendance report, amateur draft, average team ages. We can see, so just that. Here's all-time career leaders, which I don't know. There we go. And this is just all-time career leaders, but all-time career leaders just up to the season that you're playing. Okay. So again, a really, really nice thing to have. I like this, that you can do this in digital baseball. Digital baseball games that offer this. Out of the Park offers this, as does this game, Strategy Baseball. Because I like the idea of just being sort of in that, getting into that immersion. Let's look at standings for a little bit here, and let's look at Cleveland. And we can start looking at Cleveland and just what's going on with Cleveland as far as what they're doing. We can see first the Tides Indians right now are 12 and 16. 12 and 16. Here's scout info. All right, let's bring up that scout. So remember I was talking earlier, guys, about this has a unique scouting mechanism. So when you start a season replay, a season project, and by the way, this will go into the next season. So this has like a built-in, it's like a built-in career mode type thing. So your initial scout, and they're not real scout names, right? So he's 48 years old. His experience is a 10, and that's good, right? So how good is he at scouting? So pitchers, he's a B minus. Batters, he's a B. For scouting for potentials, he's a C plus. A B minus for defense, right? But so you can't, but what you're going to notice up here is these scouts aren't going to necessarily be as good as your guy. They're going to be very, very different, and they're going to differ from project to project, whatever. So the player ratings are also based on or tied into a certain extent into the scouts, which I think is cool. because the one thing that pretty much that a lot of baseball games don't take into account, and I can only think of one other digital baseball game that does it, and that's out of the park baseball, is scouting. And I think scouting is something that really needs to be thought of more in digital baseball. Cards and dice baseball obviously doesn't matter. You can fire your scouts. They also, if you were playing with finances, when Derek's time is up, you can re-sign him or whatever. Pick any of these guys, hire them. But just remember, so like Kyle Barnes, man, you just don't want this guy at all. The only thing he's like above average in potentials in that, but look, he's got F's across the board. Okay, but again, these aren't real life scouts, but it does simulate scout information. Up here, of course, change logo, edit name, region, assign to human. You can take any team, manage anything that you want. Let's look at team reports. So we're looking at team reports from the scouts, what they have to say. All right, so there's Sam McDowell, of course, the ace. There's just everybody through here, right? Let's look at team stats. So there are your team stats for, I believe we're looking at Cleveland. Let's go back to our Baltimore Orioles. All right, and look at team stats. So there we go. You can see how everybody's doing. Once again, these are all sortable. So who's my big slugger right now? Well, this better be Frank. It is. There's Frank Robinson with 8 home runs. Boog Powell with 6. Let me see. So Luis Aparicio actually managed to have a home run. How cool is that? Okay, we can go to expanded team results. And this is pretty cool here. A little hard to read. However, I think because it's using the color of the team, so this could be a quality of life improvement right now. It's not impossible. So we're getting Baltimore's overall record now 16-10. The Pythagorean record is 15-11. They are 9-6 at home, 7-4 away, 7-3 in their last 10. Their home record is 8-2, and away they are 6-4. Park factor is 101. We all know that 100 is neutral. Higher numbers favor hitters, lower numbers favor pitchers if Crash is doing it that way. Winning streaks, so it's going to track winning streaks for you and winning streaks at home and away as well. Most runs scored in a game, and it's going to give you when that game was, and most runs against. So how are there's no interleague, of course, but extra innings, they're 2-0. 1-run games, the Orioles right now are 7-3. We can see their record in April, 8-6. They were 4-4 at home, 4-2 on the road, and then there's the record thus far for May, which is really nice. Then you can do their record by runs, and you can see all that. Their weather-related record, and then their record versus each team. So right now, they're 2-0 against the Twins, 1-2 against the Tigers, 2-1 against the White Sox. They really have the Indians numbers here. They're 4-1 against them. Let me see how they're doing against Bernie's Red Sox, 2-0. 2-3 against the Senators, and 2-3 against the Yankees. Okay. There you can look at transactions in this game. You can look at if there's anybody on the DL. Let me see, what else can we look at? There's special. So special is pretty cool as well. So let's look at these for a little bit. Yeah, report's a bit hard to read. In fact, let's go back to that because I suspect. Where the hell was I on that? Was that special? No, it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was just team. It was a team what? Not team batting. Yeah, team batting. No. Oh my God, where was I, guys? Holy shit. Was I in standings? Where was I? Where was I? Let's pick the Dodgers. Okay, and let's look at team stats, team results. Yeah, so there. This is what it is. It's using the team's secondary color. So you can see now, very easy, JT, to read your Dodgers, and I'm guessing my Pirates might be a little tricky. Yep. So So crash if you catch in this one, a little quality of life improvement if possible. To just, I would say, make everything just white on this blue that you have, because people are going to be wanting to do that. And I don't know if you have, I didn't see anywhere in game options to do this. So if possible, so let me see. Cincinnati Reds, I know, are going to be. Well, tell you what. What's the Chicago Cubs going to look like? So the Cubs are fine because of their secondary color. Now, if you wanted to, guys, you could go in and change the secondary color of the team. It's not going to really affect because you're using the logos, so you get something close. Mets. That's about that orange is about where that's going to be. Not too hard to read. Just checking through. Detroit looks fine. Uh, Washington Senators look fine. Kansas City A's. So what I like here rather is rather than this report reading in that, it's okay. I think up here, situation, record, and we can see here the Kansas City Athletics in green as they should be. Just leave it like that. Like so for Pittsburgh, and that should actually be black and gold now in 1966. The Pirates were never black and red. They were blue and red for a long time. But anyhow, reports are fun in this game. So, but if I were to go in to the Pittsburgh Pirates and change their colors, it's probably going to be a little easy to read. So let's go here, and yeah, let me just pick this from the palette. Let's just do it here. Is this it? Boom. Did it do it? Okay, let's see if we apply it. Did we apply it? I think we did. Close. No, okay. It did the back part. It did the back part. So let me do this again. I don't think this is going to be something that people are going to want to do, though. Okay, button 1 for main color, button 2 for the accent color. So the accent color is what we want to change in here. So let's get back and make these the Pittsburgh Pirates, except they're going to do them in black and gold or black and whatever. Okay, that'll be close enough. Oh, no, jeez. Sorry about that. And here. Okay. Now I want to change this accent color, and it's changing this. Okay. Use button 2. So I wonder if it means mouse button. Let's see. This is always the fun of testing something, isn't it? It's exactly what it is. So button 2 literally means your right mouse button. Main color 111. Okay, so yeah, we can do that if we want to. All right. So, yep, that's another way to do it. Thank you. Just go get those. There are sites where you can get these hex values. And 255 to make them the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why not? 255, 199. And I could just actually tab over to, which I should have done, and 44. And then apply, and then close. And it's still not, let's go to the Pirates again. Let's go to Philadelphia, then let's go to the Pirates. Yeah, so see, that's exactly what it's doing. So the change I would want to make in this, because I don't think people want to go through and change team colors for teams that are going to be hard to read, would be to just do that. But again, not too bad. See, like for St. Louis, it works. St. Louis using, yellow is comes up really, really nicely. Red Sox, fine. Although, what's interesting is the Red Sox, their other color is blue. So maybe just kind of have a look at that if possible. Let's select the Boston Red Sox. There they are. They look fine. White Sox, for some reason, I don't know why the White Sox are black and gold. They should be black and white, but you saw how to change it. Let's go to SBN. So this is where you can get a lot of really, really fun stuff going on here. And it's going to do, there's been a bunch of issues here. So it's going to do issues. See that? Look, really nice. It's going to take a little snapshot of this. And I mean, you get a lot to go through, a lot of reporting, a reportage, my friends, a reportage. So we could go, there's our first issue that we saw, our preseason, power rankings and all that kind of stuff. Let's go to the next issue. And you're just going to get different things. So base runners per 9, is base runners per 9 innings. So this is for pitchers. Jim Cott, da 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 da, has the fewest base runners per 9 innings for the Twins. Ted Abernathy with the White Sox, not so much. Hey, Dwayne Martz, how you doing? Okay, you guys can read all this, but I just want you to see here. So gross production average is 1.8 times on base percentage plus slugging percentage divided by 4. So we're getting into a little bit more esoteric stuff here. Here's OPS plus leaders, power speed numbers. This is just in this. There's defense independent pitching stats. So this is kind of like some new stuffies there. Quarters to the code. All right, and if we go to the next issue, we're going to see that, right, these change up. You're right, or, everything's going to be changing up. Plus, you're going to start to see some highlights in the game, which is really cool. So Cookie Rojas hitting streak extended to 10 games against Cincinnati, sets a new all-time record. We can view the box score of that game, look at it and say, ooh, ooh, and then just close it, and you're back in the SBN thing. You can come up here, and we can look at just all these things. So these are going to change up here. So let's look at leaders in WAR right now in this issue. Willie McCovey, and of course these are going to be low numbers right now. We're just into May, but there's McCovey leading from the Giants, and then there's fielding independent pitching, OPS. There's run average leaders, so it really does mix things up with each issue. You're going to get different things. So imagine like a weekly baseball digest type thing, if you will. So Charlie Smith had 6 RBI and a 7-0 win over Pittsburgh. We can click on that and we can look at that box score and all the other things that you would want to look. Okay, well, at least the Bucks managed 2 double plays in that game, so that's not bad. No injuries. I think we have those turned off. And again, more highlights. Look at this one. So we have Koufax, 11 strikeouts against Cincinnati. So, wow, pretty cool stuff, right? So that is the SBN. Those are the SBN reports. Let's see if we can go to special. All right, so special. We haven't completed our season yet, so right now we can look at some of the stuff. So winning streaks right now, losing streaks. So Chicago Cubs in a 13-game losing streak. JT Dutch's Dodgers on a 9-game winning streak. Well, I mean, those Dodgers were a pretty good team there in the mid-'60s, I'd say, or rather, Sandy Koufax. Detroit, not too bad. My Buccos at a 5-game winning streak right now. You can look at some top prospects there if you want. WAR rating right now. There's hitting streaks all over the place. We don't have All-Stars rings or awards, best switch hitters yet. This will track stolen bases, home runs. So going on and on and on and on. And then we're gonna have retirees. So it's gonna be there's nobody's retired yet. Favorite toy. This is a tool Bill James developed in his baseball abstract days to predict the chance of a player reaching some career milestone. So I don't know. Let's say home runs. Click here to select the milestone to test. I don't know. Let's say 100, or I don't know if this is for a season. Let's say 37, I guess. And the favorite toy calculation. And there we go. There we go. So it's going to show us here that Lou Johnson and Bobby Richardson have a 100% chance of reaching 37. Their totals right now are 27 and 17, and so on and so forth. So I think that's pretty cool. You can see all the events that are down here. Almanac can't do anything like that until we do a season. So we go back to games, and we are back to where we are. And there's program, so it is back. So program, sorry, Crash, I guess it's there. So there you go. So it would be nice to have the program even on opening day. So Crash explained what really got him to do this, and I think this is really cool. So imagine for in a lot of other baseball games where you just want to get a glance at how your team is doing before you play the game or any one of these games. Let's say you're just like, oh geez, should I play this game? How are they doing? How are they doing? So right now, so how Baltimore is six, right here you go, 16-10, 12-16, and we can look at the the road record for Baltimore and the home record for Cleveland, since this game is going to be played at Cleveland, and then Cleveland's record versus Baltimore. They are 1-4. Get to see the lineups for the game, who's going to be pitching, and then team stats down here. So this will be Jim Palmer at Sonny Siebert, by the way. Expanded team stats. So a lot of really, really, really cool stuff that you can do here. And I think it gives you, right? So Cleveland team battings, right? So they had the most hits, 15 against the New York Yankees, 3 versus the White Sox, what have you. And then your visiting team highlights as well. So pretty cool stuff here. So it would be much like a sort of program that you would see going to a ballpark. So if possible, I think it would be nice to see those. Nice to see those in a on an opening day thing. So I think the only real big change, I would like to see the ball a little bit larger, and for those team reports, if there's any way to just default those to white, and just keep that nice banner with the band color and accent color. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. It would be nice to see the dates of the games where the team had its highest number of hits or runs. Yeah, and so there's where you would have to, let's say if we go to Baltimore, for instance, okay, and then we look at these team stats. No, is it team reports? Which is it? Shit. Hang on. So there's a way to get to it. Or maybe there isn't. Yeah, so yes. So maybe a link to the box score, perhaps. Yeah, there should be. There definitely should be. I agree with you. Paul, how are you doing? Good morning to you in Cyprus. Pre-game report. Yeah. So let's go to that. Let's go back to games. And let's, whatever we're looking at, we'll just pick one. Let's look at the Giants and Mets. Okay. So yeah, you're right. That would be really nice to have that. Like, hello, where is that? That would be really, really cool. Because which game versus Houston? Because not only for, I think, maybe, but I mean, this is supposed to be kind of window dressing, but it is also kind of giving you a capsule of both teams as they're coming into this particular game. And it would be kind of nice to say, oh, wait, okay, so they had most hits, 15. So, yeah, I agree. That would be a nice addition. Do remember that if you compare this with the older version, the version 10 point or whatever it is, the one that's going to be taken down when I put this one up, there's a lot added to this. So I've Apago played one game. So, dude, get rid of it, Paul. Just get rid of it. That's what I did. It's not ready. Baseball for Windows blows it away in every category. The only thing Baseball for Windows lacks is you can't roll your own dice. That's it. I'm not ignoring you. Rant all you want, brother. So, yeah, JT, I do agree with you. That would be nice to have. That being said, I still think this is a great addition. And I don't know of any other digital baseball game that has this. So I think this is super cool to have this like in a little baseball program thing. If I were designing this thing, what I would have done too is like maybe just for giggles, because it'd be real easy to do, right? With HTML, just go ahead and like, have it like randomize maybe some sort of like a beer graphic or something. You couldn't use real beer or something, but you could put like Bud Fizzer beer or something like that. I don't know. I would make it, but I like this. I like the banner up here, and it's cool. What is this alchemy? This is the demo that I'm going to be. The Crash has given me permission to upload. I'm going to be uploading it this weekend. It's a generous demo. There are some things that are disabled, but season selection is not one of them, and that was wise that he didn't limit season selection so that you guys can really give it a shot, try all the different modes and stuff like that. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I know that Pocket Pennant Run with RBI will be out soon enough. No worries, brother. You're good. So, again, I'm really a fan of this game. If you haven't figured it out, again, you can click on any team's logo to get to their, you know, get to their results. Which again, I really like the fact that it tracks a lot of stuff. You got to go deeper to get into some just cool stats. I like the way the stats are displayed. I'd like to see more categories, but these are good categories. They're good categories. So totally, actually, definitely, Craig just messaged. Craig says I thought Las Vegas was awful in BACL. He beat me 10-6. Ah, ouch, yikes. Got had the smackdown put on you, brother. So there's lots of this. I really do like it. I'd like to see. I mean, there's going to be some of the things I would say are kind of superfluous, like, but I like it. I mean, features are nice. Do I? I don't. I'm not really. This is not something this reports I'm going to go to. I would probably call this something else because somebody's going to see reports and say, "Ooh, I'm going to get some deep reporting," when really you're going to get it, deeper reporting up here. You love our fictional baseball. I do. I love it. You're awful. You lost 1-3, lost five straight. I do actually. I love for people to talk about it during broadcasts and also to put them in the comments section and post them in the Discord. I love it. I really do, because I don't look at them, Paul, as fictional. I look at this as everybody's creating narratives, and those narratives are real. So when you're talking about, when you say I'm awful, I won three, lost five straight, that is something that happened. So I don't look at it as, well, this is what we're playing here. This is fictional baseball, and as opposed to real baseball. No, I mean, the fact that right now Jim Ray Hart and Willie McCovey each have 14 extra base hits as we're entering the second week of May is a cool thing. I don't know what Jim Ray Hart, how many extra base hits he actually had at this time in 1966. I could look at that, I suppose, but I really don't care. If I wanted to, though, I could go to Jim Ray Hart, and I could go to Baseball Reference, and I could look all that kind of stuff up if I wanted to. But I love I think my favorite part of this game is the way it's breaking down and showing you player performance. And this is going to keep expanding into April, May, June. So if we look at Jim Ray Hart, since we have him up here, unless you guys can think of another player. So how did he do with runners in scoring position in 21 at bats? He had 13 hits, had three doubles, had three homers with runners in scoring position, 15 runs batted in. With runners in position, scoring position, he walked four times, struck out one. He's hitting 619, an OBP of 680, and a slugging percentage, which, again, I'm not a fan of slugging percentage. I think isolated power is better, but I guess in this context, it's good. And you see that he actually, this is in May that Jim Ray Hart really picking all of this up. He's hitting righties really well, as you can see here. Big difference in that batting average, home run total. He's also striking out a lot more against righties, too. And there's also fewer lefties around. Um, so we have live HQ file on co-op. Cool. Nice. Forgotten Man says, funny, in my History Maker Baseball Elite project, Skeens is pitching for Arizona in 2040 and pitched a shutout. Yeah, he got not first inning. I really think that that Skeens was trying to play a little bit. He's trying to nibble at those corners, and Skeens isn't that type of pitcher. Skeens has got a great pitch arsenal that he should be. He was behind in the count. It's game one, no big deal. Yeah, Paul, we are. Cruz, yeah, O'Neill Cruz. O'Neill Cruz did not help. I do agree. He did get a base hit today, but yeah. I mean, Cruz didn't help. In fact, Crash sent me an email and he said, "What is it?" He said, "I have a center fielder who has one arm and blah blah blah, whatever for sale." He said, "I realize it's only the first inning, but wow." And I was at work following the game, and hey, you know what? Again, it's a long season. It's all good. Here's Jim Ray Hart's spray chart, so we're going to see, and these correspond with the ball flight locations, but you can get a good sense here. Now, I think this is cool. The game that does this the best is out of the park baseball, though, and that's not meant as a knock on this game. That thing in out of the park baseball works in game. This is something outside. So I like this. I like this. Pretty cool. You know, just kind of you can see Jim Ray Hart can kind of go to all fields, which is good. So pretty nice. Yeah, pretty nice, I'd say. So there's his career stats, and again, this is just up to the season, and there's his real life stats. So many new games in so little time. I know. I know, man. It's crazy. And then following baseball and what have you. So the only thing that I'm seeing here, guys, that is disabled is that you cannot edit the player right now. But I really think like so you can go into a commissioner function, and if I wanted to assign Jim Ray Hart to the Tigers, for instance, I would just click and he would go to the Tigers. Obviously, not going to do that. Game log. So here's game logs. So this is cool. This is cool. Out of the park, you bought it again. I should hope so. It's a brilliant game, man. Don't forget at the airport. Are you even going to go to the airport? Have you been keeping up with what's going on here in America with a K right now? 34% of the TSAs all over the United States called out sick, which they should. They haven't gotten paid. These people are doing work. And I'm sorry, I have to say this. The president who promised no wars has us in a war and all this kind of stuff. And so these TSAs are not going to get paid until ICE gets funded. They're being forced to work. That plane crashed the other day. There was one air traffic controller in the cab. This is ridiculous. This is facts, not politics. All right, Forgotten's picking you up. Good, good. I know you guys are going to have a lot of, but the lines in America to fly anywhere. I mean, I want to go back and live in Europe so badly. I just want to come back and visit Europe. I miss it. But right now, there's no way. There is no way I would take a plane anywhere. He's flying into Logan Airport in Boston for Digital Dice in May. Cannot wait. Going to be good stuff. So for those of you expecting a game tonight or calling a game, this is more about I want to show you this, guys. All right, so let's look at a game here for Jim Ray Hart. So he had a 2-home run game against the Bucks on May 9th. So we can look at the box score of that game, and we can also look at the detail log, and that will allow me to show you another thing here. Let's make sure this is the 2-dinger game. Yes, it is. So we can do a detailed thing, and then what we can do is do a search log. So if you wanted to, there's a couple ways to do this. So this is coded in HTML, these pages. So if I click, this is like from HTML 1.0, so from very beginning back in like 94, 95. If I click on the ninth inning, top of the ninth, on that one, it's just going to jump me right down there to the top of the ninth. But we go back here, top of the first, and let's say we want to just look at all the mentions of Jim Ray Hart. Well, Crash built in the Windows function here that all I have to do is start just type his name, just Hart, and then so we can see Jim Ray Hart, right? And we can do this by words too. Okay, so we can go next, and it's just going to keep going, and going and going and going. There we go. We see that he flew out in the top of the third. So have fun with it, and you can just close it. I wouldn't worry about matching case, anything like that. Yeah, the pitch by pitch log is really cool. I really like it. So kind of gets you. Again, so I think it also depends on how deep you want to get in your replay. And I look at it this way. If you're playing digital baseball can do things that cards. I'd love to stay with you guys, man. Let me know. I'm accruing some time. So what I might do is when I go to visit my folks in northern Pennsylvania, maybe I'll just drive to. It's in Connecticut. Is it in Connecticut again this year? Because I'm not sure I really feel like driving in Boston. So, hey, coming on here sends me down so many rabbit holes. Your wife thinks he's. Does your wife like me again? By the way, Paul, or am I still like gobshite in her book? Please let me know, because I think she is the grandest lady ever. And I'd marry her if you weren't married to her already. So there you go. I think she's awesome. Good, Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, because I love Boston, but driving in Boston, forget it. Dude, there are T-shirts in Boston that say "I survived Boston traffic," and there's like tire tracks across them. Oh, I love her too. Yay! Uh, new vampire movie out, by the way. Dracula Love Tale. Saw some scenes from it. Looks pretty cool. Anyhow, neither here nor there. I'm glad you guys let me, at least because I told her about the Prestige. That's got to be something. Anyhow, what I was going to say is, let's face it, this is not about superiority, but digital baseball can do things, obviously, that cards and dice baseball cannot, unless you're that guy that Ken Castro talks about, who, he writes all this stuff down. And if you don't believe me, find this guy in Delphi forums. I forget what name he goes by, and I mean, every game, and every year he does an encyclopedia comes out to 1,000 pages, and he rolls every game in a season, every game. But most of us aren't going to do that. So Ledyard Cross from Foxwoods Casino, co-host, and would love. I really want to be there. I want to be there. I want to meet some of the guys, meet everybody. So I'm going to do my best. We're going through the transition right now at FedEx, so should work though. Give him a Scouser's kiss. I'll bring Miss Shillelagh, since I can drive up there. If I could afford it, I would just fly, but I'm going to be seeing my folks, so I've just got to figure out how far it is from northern Pennsylvania up to up there in Ledyard, Connecticut. Yeah, so JT, I get it. JT telling us the reason he stopped playing cards and dice is because his need for comprehensive reports is insatiable. Just too much to do by hand, even partially. It really, really is. And that's why I think things. I'm going to give Paul a little plug here. Not that kind of plug, Paul. Don't get excited. But anyhow, Paul gets excited when I start talking about plugs. But anyhow, he knows I love him. God, this thing is so hot. I'm going to put this over here right now. This is why I'm also really, really pushing Paul's Baseball HQ, right? Because Baseball HQ is going to work with any baseball game you have, and it's going to give you super deep reporting and just ways to, I think, for cards and dice players to make those more meaningful. I just, I've always wanted to do a cards and dice replay, but frankly, I just couldn't be arsed. Just couldn't be arsed. It was like, I'm not going to do this. This is like a job. So things like the Baseball Commissioner HQ allow you to do those things. Just the same as you have the great reporting in this game, as you have the fantastic reporting in action PC baseball, as you have, I dare say, in digital baseball, the unparalleled reporting of out of the park baseball. and so on and so forth. So obviously, they're computers; they can do things that you're just not going to be able to do very well in a cards and dice game. And that doesn't mean that these are better than cards and dice. It's my preferred way of playing because this is how I started playing baseball sims, was doing this type of stuff. All right, let me see. How long have I been rabbiting and butterfly braining? Shit, an hour and a half already. Yeah, I do too. Great admiration. So I am near the. If you're asking about me, I am near the. I'm near Harrisburg, which is not where I like. This is not my favorite part of the Commonwealth, my friend. But I'm near Harrisburg. I prefer Pittsburgh, as I worked over there as a magician and a magic demonstrator. You worked on the south side of Pittsburgh on Carson Street. But when I came back from Europe, I had to end up staying here. And I'm not a fan of the only thing I like about Harrisburg is it's close to three major league cities: D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia. How do you get this? This game? 515, how do you get this? This is exactly why I created HQ, Cards and Dice. How do you get this game? I'll be putting it up by Sunday. I'm hoping the Crash will have gotten this broadcast and just let me know about the. Yeah, this is just a demo right now. So yeah, but I'm going to be visiting my folks though, and they're up in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, very close to the New York State line, very close to the New York State line. So that cuts. So I'm probably maybe about 2.5 to 3 hours to Ledger, Connecticut. So not a bad drive at all. Got me a nice Toyota Avalon Limited with the cooled seats, Sirius XM. Gonna have my Beatles music and Pink Floyd music blasting all the way up there to Connecticut. So it'll be out, Paul, and I will let you know, and you'll be able to get it on the Discord. All right, guys. I don't know if you have any other questions. I really, really like this game a lot. So what's coming up this weekend, baseball-wise, here, Familia? Well, I'll tell you. Although you've probably already all been watching it, I'm going to be showing whatever the newest beta will be of Payoff Pitch. I have the newest one right now, but I think Dana said that another one is, Dana is going to be dropping another one. I think it's Dana is how you actually say his name. Is going to be maybe dropping another one this weekend. So 2.5 to 3 hours, so yeah. All right, take care, Paul. Yep, I Dig a Pony. There you go. By Charles Hawtrey and the Deafades. Phase 1, in which Doris gets her oats. All right, hey, Toyotas, man, they run forever. Run forever. Yeah, I love this Avalon, man. It's basically a Lexus, and it's such a nice car, man. Nice car. I really like it. Got a good deal on it, so I'll take it. It likes to go fast though, and it's like, slow down, baby, because you can't feel the speed. It's really weird. Anyhow, you've been reviewing Pulse big time too. I think that game has a lot of potential. I think it's amazing where they're going with it. I'm just concerned that the main developer is going to start getting overwhelmed. As you and I were talking, Paul, on Sunday when you were on here live, and I know you got to run. If you're trying to please everybody all at once and putting in everything, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So hopefully he just goes in incrementally. In fact, maybe I'm hoping that maybe they're considering releasing into early access in Steam, because people are going to be kinder on an early access game. If they go into full release, better be ready for prime time, baby. Better be ready for prime time. Baseball Mogul 26, yes. He's not going to do season ticket for PC. That's a shame. It really is. It's a shame, but it is what it is. But yeah, I did see I guess it's supposed to be out tomorrow. I don't know, or like the early access version or whatever. So there's going to be an email with more details. So looking forward to it, and I'm going to buy it like I do every year. Baseball Mogul, and we'll show it in the channel, and hopefully there's going to be some cool new features that it will get more playtime on here. You know, it's not a bad game. Friday, okay, so tomorrow, okay, tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow night we'll do Baseball Mogul. since Friday. Yeah. By the way, channel changes really quickly, guys, before we head out of here. And there's only 6 of you left now, anyhow, so the hardcores are left. My work schedule will be changing from Tuesday through Saturday to Monday through Friday. The upside is I got Saturdays and Sundays off like a regular person. Don't have to go into Monday at 2 in the afternoon, which is nice. But Monday through Friday, 2 to 10. So I'm not sure how I feel about that schedule right now. I actually like having Mondays off, but I figure if I don't have to go until 2 o'clock, it's fine. And I don't have to deal with, I'm not a morning person. So that means that during the week, baseball broadcasts are going to be a little bit later than usual, but not much. So, and then we'll be able to do more on Saturdays when I'm not hanging out with the female particle, and Sundays always too. All right, I think I've gone on long enough. Back to Maine, and there we go. So that's strategy baseball, and a fun game it is. Later on, we'll get into more in depth future videos, especially on doing ballparks. Yeah, JT, yeah, being out there on the left coast. Thanks for showing this. Looks like a fun game. Yeah, definitely. It will be up. It will be up, and I hope you're on our Discord. Got to be on our Discord, brother. And you'll be able to download it. Hopefully, I don't know if John caught that. I'll ask him again if it's not put up there. You're welcome. So that's it, gentlemen, for tonight for some baseball. I'm going to go watch an episode of Brother Cadfile because, yes, I'm that kind of geek. Yeah, life outside of baseball. Although, not much. Not much. Oh, absolutely, brother. Appreciate the things you said about the country. Don't mind, and I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's facts, man. It's facts. People are hurting. I'm also seeing you guys out there. Well, I'll take care of you right now, man. Let me give you that. I'm going to give you our Discord invite. California's paying nine. I mean, I realize, yeah, there's state tax and everything, but $9 for gas a gallon. We're at 4 here in Pennsylvania. Inflation is not coming down. We're in a war. And you guys, I'm going to say this, because it's just I'm about facts. He said about Joe Biden in 2024, he said, and you guys can go find the speech. This is like for real. He said Joe Biden, I believe, is going to attack Iran because that's the only way he can win the election because he's incapable of negotiating with them. And who got us into a war? The guy who said he wasn't going to get us into a war. So, yeah, when it's facts, it's facts. And I love America, man. And it hurts with what I'm seeing. How all of us, those of us that are in the middle class right now, we're hurting, man. We're hurting. And I'm not saying that just out of selfishness. It is what it is. And this war is bullshit. It's Israel's war. An illegal war. It is truly an illegal war. But this Congress doesn't have the cojones to do anything about it. I'm sorry, Trump supporters. I'm not picking on your boy, but he broke promises. And here we are in a war that he keeps saying is one, is one, is one. And now there may be boots on the ground. Way to go, Donnie. He said if you vote for Harris, you will get war, you'll get inflation, blah, blah, blah. Right? So I voted for Harris, and that's exactly what we got: war and inflation and all that. He's broken every promise, and I think a lot of this is a smokescreen for the other things going on. That said, I have friends that are supporters of this president, and I don't judge them on that. They are my friends. I don't say, I don't think a person's a schmuck for being a supporter of this president, right? That doesn't what how are you as a person? Because I know some good people to support him, and I know some bad people on the left. Yeah, the Epstein files, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a smoke screen, baby. All right. Anyhow, last button I didn't show you guys was quick load. So if I had a couple seasons in here, The quick load is going to load the last season that you were playing. Forgot about that, guys. Yep, it is what it is, and November's coming up. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and see you tomorrow night. And if Baseball Mogul isn't released tomorrow, we'll play something. I don't know what. We'll do a game of something in some baseball game. I have no shortage of those. So until then, you guys are all family. Forgotten Man, friend me up and friend up everybody. Say hi, everybody on the Discord. And hopefully, John DFW will have put that link for Strategy Baseball up there. And guys, try the demo and let Crash know, in the Discord if you find anything. All right. Yep. Talk to you soon, brother. Maybe get you on here Sunday night or something. Till next time, my family. We'll see you around the batting cage. Good night and stay well and play baseball and watch it and stuff. Bye bye.